Hey guys, Joe Holbrook here, the Cloud Tech Guy. There's been a post that's been going around LinkedIn over the weekend pretty much, and I think it's important to sort of touch on it because if you're new to IT, for example, this is sometimes some of the things you might run into really understanding what you're worth as a candidate. Now, one of the challenges that I think also this post does actually pose, not only for potential candidates, but also for that company that has hired her, because I think this will show that this particular recruiter probably isn't the most, what I would call, moral person, and will probably be more of a liability to the company down the road, only because of the fact that if you're not going to pay someone, especially if it's, in this case, a female, what other candidates are getting, for example, and this gets exposed down the road to the company, this doesn't sound like something I would be bragging about on LinkedIn. Now, also, I think it brings up another important point, is not only did this recruiter possibly not only harm the candidate that she's working with, but she's also probably put the company that she works for and the potential customer as well, I'm not sure of the relationship there, of this company. So because of that, I just don't see how she'd want to be bragging about this, because this is going to have probably negative effects for her as well. Because if I'm a candidate and any rational candidate sees a post like this, why would you want to work with, why would you want to work with a recruiter that is bragging about underpaying candidates? I mean, that's just dumb as a rock, right? And the company that has hired her, I think, probably needs to reconsider that as well as to the relationship with this recruiter. And if I was the business partner of this recruiting firm, I would be pretty livid. I would definitely not like to see that. Now, would a company want to pay a candidate less? Absolutely. However, generally, you don't want to brag about it, and you shouldn't be sort of putting it out there like this is the way you treat people. Now, if someone is, having an issue with understanding their worth as a candidate for a role, generally you would expect a recruiter to at least be somewhat honest about the range, right? So basically, if the candidate says 85,000, and I'm going to be honest too, I don't, I would be concerned too if I was a hiring manager here, because if this is a female, okay, and they find out that a male is making 20K more a year than her, then that could pose some potential issues, I think, as well. I'm not an attorney, I'm not providing advice, but I just in situations I've been in before, this is just not looking good. So because of that, this recruiter really probably should be maybe working somewhere else. That would be the way I would treat this. So if I was the customer of this recruiting firm, this would be terminated. I wouldn't even tolerate it. So, because this would really affect the recruiting firm's ability to get good candidates, I think, if this was something that was, went viral, for example, everywhere. Now, I've seen it on Reddit as well, and I've seen it on LinkedIn and a few other sites. So this is going viral. This has really made a lot of people upset, and I think for good reason. Now, lastly, to close this off, I think it's important too, as well, to realize that if you're a candidate for a role, you really need to go and search, for example, Glassdoor, LinkedIn, other sites like Indeed. They all do a great job at posing the salaries for potential roles, and this should give you that range as well. So I don't totally fault this recruiter 100%, because again, it's, if the candidate accepts the offer, it's part of her sort of fault as well. But again, is it right for a recruiting firm to take advantage of people as well? That's another story. So with that said, I just wanted to say this is just bad behavior overall. Take care.